Good morning, class. Okay, can you stand up for the prayer? Angelica, can you lead the prayer? Did we Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? Once again, good morning, class. Okay, before anything else, can you look at your surroundings and pick up the trashes on the floor and throw it in the trash can? Okay, you may now sit down. Before that, let me check your attendance first. Once I call your name, you say present. Amores Jessa, Bebero Jacqueline, Capulo Renaline. Okay, very good. No one is absent. Okay, let's move on. Who can tell me the topic that we discussed last meeting? What was our topic last meeting? It was all about the effects of force on the shape of an object. What was that all about? It is when the force applied to an object, the object changed its shape by stretching, bending, and compressing, or the combination of these three shapes changes. So now, let's move on to our next topic for today. But before that, let's have first an energizer. I prepare an energizer for you, so can you stand up? I want everyone to participate, so everybody should dance. I will play the song and then you will follow me. Just follow the steps that I am going to execute. Okay, ready? Some things we push, some things we pull, some things we don't think at all. If you an object, there's something you gotta do. You can push things forward, you can pull things back. You can push things forward, you can pull things back. You can push things forward, you can pull things back. Push things forward, pull things back. Okay, very good. Okay, you may now sit down, class. Okay, how was the energizer? It was? Good. So did you enjoy? Okay, so the energizer that I prepared is related to the topic that we are going to discuss this morning. So, what do you observe these steps? Just guess the steps. Any idea? Okay, these steps is what we call is push. This is push and this is pull. What's with push and pull? What is push and what is pull? Then we will find out as we go along to our topic for today. I have here a Christmas ball. Try to observe the ball. What will happen if I push the ball like this? The ball will move. And what will happen if I tap the ball? What will happen? The ball will suddenly stop. So, how will the ball stop? It is because of force. So today, we will be discussing about force. And our topic is all about the effects of force on the movements of an object. And for the objectives, we have, at the end of the lesson, the pupils will be able to explain the effects of force when applied to an object, identify the effects of force on object, and describe the effects of force on the movement of an object. So what do you mean by force? So force is a strength or energy as an attribute of physical action or movement. So force is a strength, is an energy. So I use my strength, a force, to move this certain object. So force is very important because we cannot move without using any force. Yes, it is correct. We can actually move the object without using our force. It can make object move and make a moving object go faster or make it slow down. So force is needed to make an object move or to set the object into motion. We can actually see the force, but we can feel and see the effects of force. So let's move on to the effects of force on an object. So the first one is, it can cause a stationary object to move. What do you mean by stationary? Who has an idea? So when we say stationary, it is something that is not moving. A stationary object that is on a resting place. So, like for example, if I put the ball on the table, it is a stationary object. Why? Because it's not moving. So, the first effect is it can cause a stationary object to move. So, if I give a little force towards the ball, it actually moves. That's why the first effect is it can cause a stationary object which is in a resting place to move. Another example is when you play soccer. Are you familiar with soccer? Okay. When you kick the ball on the floor, the ball will move. So for the second effects, we have it can cause the moving object to change its speed. So what do you mean by moving object? It is already moving. So it's not in a resting place, but the object is already moving. So for example, when you are riding a bike, what will you do to stop or to slow down the bike? It is through the brake. But through the brake, by squeezing the brake, you are applying your force. You cannot squeeze the brake without your force, right? So there's a force on it. Take note of this. In order to stop or slow down a certain object, you need to apply force opposite to the direction of the moving body. For example, if I move the ball to the left direction, then we need to apply force opposite to the moving body. So since the ball is moving to the right direction, then we need to apply force to the left direction, which is opposite of the right is left, in order to slow down or to stop the moving object. So the ball will slow down. So the third one is it can cause a moving object to change its direction of motion. So by applying force, it can also change its direction. So for example, when you are playing a football, are you familiar with football? Yes. When you kick the ball in a different direction, then the ball also moves to different direction. I have here another example. By kicking the balloon to a different direction, then it can also move to different direction, like this. So it moves to different direction. So force can also be push and pull. When we say push, it is a force applied in a direction away from our body. So when we push an object away from our body, then it's called push. For example, opening a window. It is push or pull? Of course, it is push. For pull, it is a force applied in a direction towards from our body. So, when we apply force, when you move an object towards your body, it is called pull. Just like closing a door. It is push or pull? It is pull. Okay, so when force applied to an object, it affects the object's movement. Objects with lesser mass require lesser force for it move to some distance, while objects with greater mass require greater or stronger force to make it move a longer distance. Just like this. I have here an example. What have you noticed? What have you observed to the illustration? So for A, it has a lesser mass. For B, it has a bigger or greater mass. What do you think will happen if the man tried to push the cart? Which of the two carts move to a longer distance? Is it A or B? It is A. Why do you say so? It's because it has a lesser mass. And for B, it has a greater mass. Try to think if you are moving or pushing a heavy loaded cart. Do you think you can move a certain cart if it is heavy? It is hard for you to push the certain object, or it is hard for you to push that cart because it's heavy, right? It moves to some distance only. So imagine when you are moving a chair or a refrigerator, which has a lesser mass and which has a bigger mass. A chair or a refrigerator. Of course, a chair has a lesser mass. Then, if you move the chair, then it will move to a longer distance. And if you try to move the refrigerator, it will move to some distance only because it has a bigger mass. So, understood? Okay, another. If the force applied is balanced, the object cannot move. Why? It's because the force applied, both are equal. Just like playing a tug of war. Are you familiar with tug of war? When the two teams apply equal force, then the rope will not move. It's because the force is balanced. It is that the one team, the other team should require enough force or bigger force in order the rope to move. So that's it. Do you understand? Okay. To check your understanding, we will have a group activity. I will group you into 2 groups and then collaborate with your classmates. We have group 1 and group 2. Prepare 1/2 sheet of paper and answer this one. Just tell me if this picture shows being pushed or pulled. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. So let's check. What is it? What is this? It's push or pull? It is push. Number 2. It is push because you are pushing the cart to move. How about this one? It is push. And this one, this is catching fish. It is pull. Okay? It seems that you understand our lesson. So, I will ask you a question. What makes an object to move? And what makes an object to stop? You can answer. Okay, Riza. Okay, very good. It is because of force that is being applied. So, how about movement of an object moves to a longer distance? You can answer. Okay, Jericho. Okay, very good. It's because the force applied has a greater amount of force. Okay, how about this one? What will happen if the force applied is balanced? Who can answer? Okay, Miriam. The object will not move. It's because it is balanced. Correct. How about when the movement of an object travels or moves to a longer distance? Okay, Sarah. It is applying force which has a greater amount of force. Okay, and what are the 3 effects of force on object? Yes? Okay, it can cause stationary object to move. It can make a moving object to change its speed. And lastly, it can make a moving object to change its direction. So it seems that you really understand, so we will have an assessment. For set A, read the question carefully and choose the correct answer. For set B, write OM if the effects of force can cause object to move, OS if the object change its speed, and OD if the object change its direction of motion. Okay? I will give you 10 minutes to answer, and after that, we will check your answer. Okay, done? Okay, exchange your papers to your partner, to your seatmate. Okay, for number 1, who can answer? Okay, Mike, which of this is needed to make the object move? It's A, gravity, B, inertia, C, force, D, power. Okay, return the papers to the owner. Okay, who got the perfect score? Okay, very good. Who got 6 out? Okay, very good. It seems that majority of the class got the highest score. So, please give ourselves a round of applause. For your assignment, choose any 2 effects of force on object and give 4 examples each. So you will just choose any of these 3 effects and give each 4 examples. Understood? Okay. Please copy your assignment first. Okay, are you done? Okay. So on Monday, please study the topic, the lesson that we discussed today, because we are going to have a quiz. It's just a short quiz. Okay? Please study and answer your assignment. Is it understood? But before that, any clarification or questions regarding our topic? None? Okay, good. Please stand up for the prayer, for the closing prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Goodbye, class. See you on Monday. God bless you.